Panda didn't come alone, it arrived with its incredibly loud mouth, making no effort to hide itself. F-Queen, just let me play with you. And who was the F-Queen? She was the leader of a tribe, far from considering these beasts as anything significant. The moment she realized it was a panda from Blue Star, she snarled. Don't touch me with those filthy hands. But words alone weren't enough. Panda punched even harder. With a loud boom, the F-Queen's abdomen caved in, and she was pushed back 2 meters, spitting out a mouthful of blood. Don't touch me with those filthy hands? Are you joking, you demon? Panda's bloodshot eyes glared at the F-Queen with utter disdain. You're the one who started this war, the one who tried to kill my comrades. The F-Queen was in pain, furious, wanting to retort, but she was still coughing up blood, unable to say a single word to Panda. I came here determined to kill you. Don't expect mercy, Panda declared. A barrage of arrows whooshed through the air toward the panda. The spirit army, momentarily shocked by their queen being punched, quickly retaliated by unleashing a storm of arrows. The sheer number of arrows forced Panda into a corner. At this rate, it would be hit. If it didn't fight back, the other side would think it was weak. Panda conjured a massive fireball, even larger than its own body, and unleashed a series of fiery blasts in all directions. The spirits never expected this. Even those riding vultures couldn't escape the deadly, precise sweeps of the fireball. Within seconds, the scent of burnt flesh filled the air as the charred remains of the spirit army and their mounts rained down from the sky, creating a horrific spectacle. Amidst the carnage, Panda stood in the center, eyes unblinking, staring challengingly at the F-Queen. Let's see how she plans to escape without her army. The queen raised her hands, summoning a vortex of fire while chanting in an ancient, eerie tongue. Pillars of flame shot down, crashing onto the ground, encircling Panda. She was insane. To kill Panda, she didn't care if her own soldiers were still below. A few spirits screamed in agony, but she ignored them. All she wanted was to burn this creature into ashes. To her, Panda was nothing more than a loathsome, black and white creature that needed to be eradicated. The flames engulfed Panda, lifting it off the ground, stretching its limbs in agony as it let out a piercing scream. Her remaining subordinates were reduced to ashes. The fire pillars merged into a single colossal column, with Panda becoming a tiny dot within. Its screams were drowned out by the roaring flames. Ha ha ha, serves you right. Just wait, I'll peel off your charred skin and crush it under my feet. The queen cackled as her vulture swooped down to claim Panda's corpse. But suddenly, the flames turned against her. A blast of fire shot toward her, forcing her to veer away, barely escaping being burned alive. The once-consuming fire column was now under Panda's control, turning to strike its former master. At the center of it all, Panda swiftly dispersed the flames with lightning speed. In an instant, it launched itself toward the queen. Did you think I'd go down that easily? Panda smirked. This had all been an act, a setup for a devastating counterattack. Both of its fists crashed into the F-Queen's face, caving in one side of her cheek, distorting her face entirely. She was in pain, furious, but most of all, utterly humiliated. How dare you hit me, you insolent beast! Before she could finish, Panda switched from fists to a direct kick, slamming her face once more. The queen let out a loud oof as she was sent flying off her vulture. It panicked, unable to catch her in time. She crashed into the ground below with an earth-shattering impact. That finally relieved some of Panda's frustration. It sneered. Getting kicked from that high up must have hurt, huh? The vulture, now ownerless, went berserk, shrieking as it dove at Panda in a rage. But Panda stood firm, colliding head-on with the creature. A boom echoed through the sky as the impact shook the air itself. I can control fire, ice, and other elements. A little flame won't hurt me, let alone a mere bird, Panda declared, stepping toward the fallen queen. It narrowed its eyes. You're truly heartless. You attacked your own men just to kill me. I should strip you of your title. The queen, barely standing amidst the ruins, looked up in defiance. Panda knew the real battle was just beginning. Flames flickered around its hands as it recalled the queen's earlier insults. I'm not filthy. I'm a rare and noble animal. The queen, unable to defend herself, could only watch as Panda charged. It struck her chest with a devastating punch. Despite wielding no weapons, the sheer force was overwhelming. The space behind her collapsed from the impact. She herself was bent backward, completely unable to resist. Honestly, Panda was overpowering her far too much. She couldn't even fight back anymore. Before she could react, she was already knocked out cold. Reflect on your sins, woman, Panda declared like a hero who had just slain a great evil. But suddenly, a mysterious force struck from behind, piercing through Panda's chest. The panda froze, eyes widening in shock as blood spurted from its mouth. An ambush? It turned its head to see the source. A figure radiating an intense, divine aura, its vibrant colors standing out starkly against the darkened sky. But its strike had been too precise. Panda collapsed forward, its fate uncertain, whether unconscious or dead. Above, the divine being let out a quiet chuckle, much like the other celestial beings of this world. To them, aside from the atoxic tree, all other creatures were insignificant. In the eerie twilight, where only shades of blue and violet mingled, an icy spear materialized, then shot forward like a flash of lightning. There were several black dots in the sky, all of them incredibly impatient. Even though they were already moving at high speed, it still felt like it wasn't enough. For this was the first time traveling like this. It couldn't stop asking the nine-tailed fox beside it. "Hey, fox, how much longer until we arrive?" the fox replied. "It took my master 15 days before, but now that we're cutting through space, we'll be there in an hour." That was already a great effort, but wasn't satisfied. It tightened its grip around the neck of the dinosaur it was riding and shouted, "What? An hour? By then, the battle will be long over. I have to get to my little brother first. I have a bad feeling." That ominous feeling was something only sensed, but Xiao Long beside it was just as anxious. "Let me go with you," Xiao Long insisted. The nine-tailed fox didn't object. Panda was somewhere in one of the attack cities anyway. "Bing Chuan, Gei Zhu, you two head to the 6th city," the fox ordered. Bing Chuan nodded. "Big sister, are you heading to the 4th city? That place is already in ruins." The fox knew that. It wasn't going there to protect the city but to find Xiaoling. And so, the group split up, each rushing to their assigned locations. Meanwhile, in the central area, loud explosions had been ringing for a while now. The relentless assault on the central fortress showed no signs of stopping. Countless beast corpses were strewn across the battlefield, their mouths agape in death, each bearing fatal wounds. Yui held his ground at the energy cannon, unable to move further to chase down the enemy. He had already noticed that someone was directly attacking the spirit army. But what was going on with that panda? Its energy fluctuated wildly. Was it struggling to defeat its opponent? On the ground lay a shattered container that once held the life essence of the divine tree. Now, it was empty, rolling aimlessly. Panda had been through countless battles and knew its defense was weak. That's why it always kept healing items on hand. The wounds on its body quickly closed, and it remained standing. It had nearly died just now. Not far from it, the half-tree, half-beast figure landed. Panda's mouth twitched in irritation. "You're exactly as my master said, both cowardly and shameless." The nature god wasn't bothered by the insult, but still defended itself. "In the process of all things growing, the result is what matters most," a soft voice followed. "As long as we can win." The dream god had emerged from the void. Then, a cold voice added, "I am willing to pay any price." The moment those words fell, a massive black pillar with strange insect-like patterns suddenly appeared right behind the two gods. Besides the nature god and the dream god, another divine entity was watching from above. This was a 3-on-1 fight against Panda. If Panda didn't arrive in time, Panda was doomed.